This is Phoebe Green and the Locker of Destiny, written and read by me, James Dewburn. This is chapter 33, A Dark Future. Phoebe sat in the reception area of Perivale, her feet dangling motionless above the wooden floor. The few belongings she had acquired in the first term barely filled a plastic carrier bag. These plastic bags get banned, Phoebe said to nobody in particular. The school receptionist called her over to the hatch. Having photocopied the offending pages, she returned the book of difficult questions to Phoebe, who opened it to the sketch of the girl holding the cat. "I can't draw that well. Give me a pencil and I'll prove it. Please, can you ask for another meeting with Miss Perivale?" Phoebe said. "I told you, Miss Green, I have no authority here," the receptionist said without looking up. "I'm calling your parents." Phoebe remained at the hatch. She watched the receptionist tap a number into her phone and put the receiver to her ear. It was the first time Phoebe had seen a phone like this, with two parts connected by a long curly wire. The lady noticed that she was being watched and turned so that Phoebe could not see her face. "Hello, is that Mr. Green? This is Mrs. Carver from Perivale School for Girls." There was a pause before the receptionist continued. "I'm afraid there's an urgent matter we need to discuss regarding your daughter's future at Perivale. It's not something I can discuss over the phone, and you'll need to come in and speak with Miss Perivale herself." Phoebe couldn't hear the voice of Mr. Green, or as she would come to know him, Grandad. The receptionist listened, nodded and looked at Phoebe. "No, Katie will not need to attend the meeting. Shall we say 10 a.m? The receptionist ended the call and looked at Phoebe. "They're not coming until tomorrow, so I need to speak with Miss Parsley. We'll work out where to put you tonight. Sit down there and wait, please." Phoebe returned to the wooden bench. She looked at the suit of armour polished like a mirror. At its feet was a bronze plaque which read Sir Perivale. She thought back to the first moment in this very spot in 2025 when she had dared to breathe on the silver metal of the knight's chest. Just moments later, her life had become twisted like a curly telephone cable. She played out in her mind what would happen in the morning. The sound of a car crunching across the gravel. Her grandfather and grandmother, but middle-aged, demanding to know what was going on. Miss Perivale shoving Phoebe forward and explaining that she'd been expelled. Granny shoving Katie forward and explaining that she hadn't even started yet. Hopefully, Katie wouldn't even come because Phoebe couldn't risk seeing her mum. Phoebe tried to imagine what was next, but couldn't. What becomes of the spare girl with no parents or school to look after her? The police? A jail cell? She'd heard the phrase "taken in by the authorities," but had no idea what that would look like. She made a guess that it would look lonely. In moments of darkness, she turned to her book. With a click of a pen, she started a new page and wrote, "What happens to a girl with no family?" The empty space beneath the questions stared back at her blankly. Awful thoughts filled her mind of life in 1995 outside of Perivale, being passed from adult to adult, none of them believing her story. She clicked her pen shut and clipped it to the cover. The receptionist watched her stand up. Before Phoebe could change her mind, she dashed across the entrance hall and out of the double wooden doors. She jumped down the steps, 3 at a time, and sprinted across the gravel to the sound of the receptionist shouting after her, "Get back here!" There was no going back. Phoebe tore across the lawn, glancing over her shoulder to see that the receptionist had gone, presumably to call for backup. Knowing that she couldn't make it to the gate before the other staff were called, Phoebe ducked into Mr. Grayson's workshop area to hide. The courtyard was surrounded by little outbuildings, and behind them was Mr. Grayson's cottage. Running behind the wall was the long greenhouse with condensation on its windows. Out on the lawn, Miss Parsley's voice called out. Phoebe remained hidden behind the wall, but she knew that she'd be caught the moment someone poked their head into the workshop area. She scrambled across the yard to the greenhouse, slid the door open, and slipped inside.